Hey brothers and sisters, I wanted to talk today about purity of heart. And this is something that Jesus has been teaching me for a few years now, although part of the time he was teaching it to me, I had no idea that that's what he was teaching me. It wasn't only until recently that it was revealed to me in full why everything in my life or everything in my walk has happened the way that it has. He's revealed to me in full recently why. So if you've been watching my videos and my channel, you know that I talk about a time where I went through, this wasn't when I backslid, that was something totally different. That was when I chose to go back into the world, and I chose to go back to willful sin, deliberately defying God and telling him no, I wasn't going to serve him. This is a time that I went through what I call a desert time, because it was during this time that I went through many different trials. I felt really lost. I felt really alone. I felt that I couldn't hear God's voice very clearly. So it was kind of like a wilderness desert time for me, where like I questioned at times like if Jesus was even real, if Jesus was even still with me. All the while I was still fighting. I was still with him. I never went back to the world. I never turned my back on him. I never gave up. I still kept following him. But I just wasn't strong during this time. I felt so far from him. And just the devil was also putting a lot of confusion, and I was just being tried. I was being refined in the fire. Like we know that gold is refined. The only way to refine it and make it pure is to put it into fire. And it's the same with us. We're going to go through trials and tribulations that are going to test us. They're going to push us to our absolute limits so that we can be refined. And for me, that time took, at least for this specific message for purity of heart, that took about 2 years for me, and it took many other brothers and sisters, interactions with them. It took a lot of other people outside of Christ's body who don't know Jesus. It took so many different things for me to finally come full circle with Jesus, and he finally revealed it to me in full. And it all surrounds, or a lot of it surrounds, purity of heart. So when I first started making messages and videos for Jesus, my heart's intentions were pure. I was really hearing from Jesus, and I was putting out the messages that he gave me to put out at that time. But slowly, over time in doing that, I'm not sure if it maybe is pride that may have risen up. Okay, so it was a little bit of pride, a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of defensiveness, a little bit of, pretty much those three things, I guess, that maybe rose up in my heart, which I'm not sure if I saw at the time. So even though I started out with pure intentions, Satan obviously will still rise up to tempt you in your flesh. And that is why that's one of the reasons that Jesus had to lead me off of social media for a while, was so he could completely break down my heart and pluck up those things by the root. And it took much time and many different situations, many different brothers and sisters, many different people, many different experiences for Jesus to teach me and to uproot these things in my heart. So it was like he had purified me when I backslid, but he was continually purifying me to make me conform me more to his image. And also one of the things that really I feel like produced in me is the true love of God. And what I mean by that is, before I went through this 2-year period, I mean, I loved people, but it was still sometimes difficult for me to have the true heart and the true love of God in my heart. And I had prayed for those things. I had said, Jesus, please give me, help me love others more. Help me forgive others more. Help me, care for others more. And he answered my prayers back then. It was just not in the way that I thought he was going to answer. He said, okay. And he took me through that 2-year period to really show me what the true love of God is, and to put the true love of God in my heart. And he has just made it so clear to me that everything that we do, every thought, every deed, every action, every word that we speak, or everything that we do, needs to come from an absolute pure heart before him. If it's not coming from a pure heart before him, we shouldn't expect to get anywhere with him. And that leads into another thing is someone has been asking me recently, or a few people have asked me, that they're kind of stuck in this place where they feel that their heart isn't right, in the sense of they know Jesus, but they just feel really far from him still in their heart. And what Jesus taught me about that is we need to ask for a new heart. Ask for our heart to be purified. Ask for the what's not pleasing in our heart. Ask that Jesus will reveal to us what he sees in us that's not pleasing to him. What is it in our heart that is making us feel distant from him? And he will. He is faithful. If you ask him that, he will show you. And that's another thing that goes along with having a pure heart, is we need to be absolutely honest and humble before him. Sometimes I would go into a prayer and I would just say, it was almost like a religious prayer sometimes. The devil got me into this way of religiously praying, instead of actually just being open and honest and truthful and broken before Jesus. And what I mean by that is, let's say I would pray for help me to be strong with other people, when really what I really truly felt in my heart was, Jesus, I feel I don't have true love for people, and I don't know why I feel like that, but can you please help me have true love for people? I would be asking for things, but then not being broken and totally humble and honest before Jesus. And what I've learned is that when you come to him with a truly pure, honest, and open heart, that's when I personally have seen him really break through and really move in my life, in my heart, is when I just go before him and I'm completely honest and humble with everything. And Jesus will purify your heart. He will conform you to his image. But he's just shown me so much how if we don't do stuff out of an absolutely pure heart before him, that it's going to be burned up. Any works or anything that is done from a heart that is not pure will be burned up in the end. It's in vain. It doesn't matter. It's going to get you nowhere with Jesus. And he is the judge of our hearts. He knows all motives. So just go to him about your heart condition. If you can feel that your heart is not right, go to him. Be honest with him. Be brutally honest with him about how you feel. And he will sanctify and purify your heart. And even if you at the time may not be able to quite understand and know what it is within your heart that just feels wrong, just go to him and talk to him about it anyways, because he knows what it is. He knows what is in your heart that needs to be uprooted and plucked out by the root. So I hope this message just encourages you guys, and whoever it was meant for. I hope that this message edifies you, and I just hope that we all just keep and continually asking Jesus to keep our hearts pure, keep our intentions and our motives pure, keep our heart humble, and just keep asking him for a pure heart daily. Our hearts are so wicked, and if we even for a second look away from Jesus or start looking at other things, it is that easy for Satan to get a foothold on you. So, like I said, I hope this edifies whoever it's meant for, and Jesus bless you.